We're seeing a Dutch mirror
game of
on
the series.
Mexico, and both of these players are playing Dutch, but I don't think this civ is actually in their civ pool if you want to look at their profiles. From what I've seen at least, so...
What?
Yeah. If you look at the profiles of these players, I don't think Dutch is an
Oh, I
actually
see.
a popular civ they play, perspective-wise, in their own field.
But maybe because you're playing Revolt, it's not something you probably want to play on the ladder, but it's definitely a good seed for Revolt, so you prepare for the Revolt tourney. So I wouldn't actually look into your top 7 sieves played in the ladder. I don't expect those sieves to actually be played
No,
on the tournament.
all I'm saying is, yeah, but like...
Yeah, complementing what
Never
you're saying.
mind.
It's pretty much the same thing.
It's not about it being ladder, but it's about the, maybe the player knowledge and all that stuff.
Yeah, 100%. It could actually... What's their elo? Actually, it would be a good information to have. I usually, if I was on my account, I would be able to have that showing up when I want it. But nice to know their elo. Yeah, the YouTube policy violation. I don't know what that is all about. That is gonna be streaming on Twitch for now. Something is happening over there. Yeah, pretty weird.
All right, so can we look over to Blue's side as well?
So here's the low baja EPM. So you have no, sorry, this is, we're looking into low baja enjoyer, which is blue. So this is the blue we're looking at. So there you go. Blue is on the north side of the map. That's low APM baja enjoyer. And we have some gay deck here.
I would criticize this deck very much, is all I'm gonna say, and we're seeing a 1320 in a treaty setting, which I doubt is gonna be good. He doesn't have the tech that boosts banks, he doesn't have his 4 wheels, he doesn't have training time for units, which you could do as Dutch, because you have a lot of eco and you could probably spare those cards. And yeah, there are some cards lacking in there, I would say. He doesn't even have a bank wagon. So I'm not sure this is a great setup from Blue over here.
I wouldn't like the bank wagon myself. I'd rather have the wood and actually build more infrastructure, more banks, than actually have a bank card. My opinion.
I'd actually play it completely differently, but that's me.
Okay, let's see what merowing is up to. Let's see. It doesn't hurt having more cards than you.
All right, so I like this deck way better.
Yeah, you have
like
options,
this deck
right?
looks way better.
But the thing is, I think he has a defined idea what he wants to go for. If you see, like Julian had the same idea. Like he only put the cards that he's gonna use, and nothing more. So he doesn't actually get crazy ideas in mid and trying to change his strategy. The only problem with this is you never know what you're playing against. And what if you need to sort of adjust it up? Maybe instead of doing a little bit more cap, I want to do a little bit more skirms, and you don't have those.
No, like
options,
the thing
whatever.
is that you're not playing the civ to its strength, and you're losing so much value from that. Meanwhile, if you look at Merowing's deck, you're seeing that there is the bank wagon, the church tech, the training cards, advanced arsenal, the bank gather boost, and yeah, like all the required stuff here are in. I would say he even has some eco cards in if you could like squeeze those in somehow. But yeah, I like this deck like way better. I like this deck way better compared to the opponent, because you really need the bank gather rate in the H4. That's one thing. And advanced arsenal also must be a must alongside the bank in this tournament setting, I would say.
Interesting card here. The Dutch States Army, whilst mercenaries, they train and move faster, arrive faster as well, but they become a little bit more expensive. But you can train Highlanders, horsemen, and stables, and both in the taverns as well. It's an interesting card. So here we're having now the second bank. We already have 2 banks on the other side.
Can we also look at the villager counts? Like 14 villager for blue, and then you have almost 17, like about to be 17 now for red, and they're around the what? I think we're just gonna lead up way better here.
Yeah, I think he went early with the banks, but somehow he managed to idle, right? So I think he was idling on his TC, which kind of breaks down the point of actually having those early banks. I'd rather have no idle and a later bank, but I don't know. An early bank is for villagers. Gathering things is slightly faster. Maybe. Could be better. I don't know.
Also, we don't see any market or like any text from Blue as well. Like I think this is not the build you want to go for. I'm not sure if he's very familiar with Dutch.
I think he is, and I think he's gonna go for a church card here, and it's gonna no, we're not gonna have the wood for that. So
You haven't gathered it up yet, but yeah, might have enough.
he doesn't have 700 coins, so he's gonna gather all the coin manually, which is reasonable as well. Well, Mary, on the other hand, is sending 600 wood now. He sent the bank wagon. I don't like sending bank wagon. I'd rather you wait a little bit when you go to H3, send 1000 wood, and then you do the another.
I'd rather send 4 vills instead of 600 wood here. Like, rather have that in the deck. If you really want to greed. Like, put the vills on wood, get your steel traps, gang saw, placer mines, all your ecotechs. Like, that's the things you need. You don't need, like, extra wood. You just need your villagers to be efficient as much as possible till the timer hits. Like, you just need to know your greed and the value of what you have with what you want to do.
Yeah, because
Right, so I'm assuming we're seeing a church
Yeah,
from merowing right now.
that's good.
He's on 5 banks. He also doesn't have a market, which I do not like at all.
As well, and idled.
Yeah, he idled for quite
Well, it could be
a while.
intended. Oh no, he's building a house. No, that's not intentional.
Well, he's aging up now with the Exile Prince. The shame it doesn't say what it's gonna give you in the UI. We need a mod for this, you know. When you hover over, it tells
Exile
you.
Prince is just fast age up.
Right, but I would like to see and be told what it is. So here comes the market, and he built a house somewhere. But
Can we also look at Blue's side? I want to see what is going on also in there. Okay, so we do have a market for Blue. He is on 5 banks. He does have hunting dogs, but he doesn't have steel traps yet.
He's on 5
So many
banks.
people on food.
We have 5 here as well. So he's on 22 villagers, and Mero is on 23. So he's caught up because he idles so much the town center here. That allows low APM that was like 2-3 villages behind to catch up now.
Yeah. Blue aging up with the bishop or the exile prince. I think that's fast, isn't it?
Probably exile, yeah. This is quite too fast. We're gonna chop here now. You're on 21 villagers. 23, yeah, because he was actually also idling for the age up, but the both of these guys kind of idle a little bit, and I think they both
But
sent
I really dislike the deck and the build from Blue here. I don't think it has much follow up. I think it's not gonna be great. Is what I'm going to say.
Yeah, he also said 1000 wood. We do have a spy over here. That's cute. Another spy here.
All right, so we're
How
seeing
about the
placer
church
mines
card?
from.
Wouldn't it be nice to send the church card now?
I guess what you can do is you can do 3 wheel, 700 wood, bank wagon, 4 wheel, and then church tech to get the banks, and then just skip any shipments in H3 because you have a lot of eco with like 7 banks, and then just get to H4, send your factory, send your bank boost, bank gather rate boost, and then send your techs to make the units stronger and then revolt.
My opinion, I don't even like the bank wagon either. I would like to, if it was me, I would send 3 wheels, 700 wood, 600 wood, and I would send the church card 1000 wood, and I will probably use the wood to make more 7 banks. That's what I would go for. And then now, because he sent the 1000 wood for the bank card. He cannot make out the extra banks. Let me see. In this other side here, see, it's more like what I was talking about. He has on the charge card first. Now he's already on 7 banks. See?
Yeah, I like Red's build here way better than compared to what Blue is doing. Can we also see Red's market text? Like, he does have steel traps in, he's getting the gank, so right now I guess he doesn't really need placer mines that much since most of his eco is on food, and like banks are already gathering for him and doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, he didn't actually send 1,000 wood also, so he can actually send the 1,000 wood to. I think he's in a gank, so he actually got the wood himself with the villagers instead of sending 1,000 wood. Let's see. He has 3 shipments, so he used mercantilism during the transition, which is nice. Now
we're also seeing coffee beans from Blue.
late.
Yeah, it's quite late though. Like, you'd want this card around. You want this tech around 7:15, like right there, right
He's
in.
quite behind. It's like 27 villages in comparison to the. We go to the other side. I can just press enter next time. You see, 24, 27.
Factory coming in for Blue, followed by mercantilism as the church tech. That's going to give him at least 2 shipments, but I don't think that's going to give him the eco he needs to hold a long game. I guess he's not really going for the long game here. He rather wants to go for a revolt that doesn't really involve villagers, aka macro.
Right. I think he's planning to go with what's the revolt he's gonna go for? The US, right?
Probably.
And then he just he's sending this. I thought he
I
was
mean, it
going
could
to
be
send that.
Brazil or something unusual, but
No way he's gonna do Brazil. And he would be building town centers.
Yeah, but
He's making skirms. He knows that the opponent might come with
This is too early to make units. I'm not sure what he's thinking right now.
Interesting. Yeah, I like it that he has the tulips. There's gonna be some extra
Yeah, that you definitely need this. Like, you definitely need that card in this setting of a game. Like, you just cannot ignore that.
It's almost like 2 banks, right?
Yeah, basically it's like a factory.
Is this guy on 7 banks? Let me see. Yeah, he's on 7 banks. They're both doing skirms. That's gonna, if they both do skirms, it's gonna be so cool. Actually gonna be more interesting than the dragoons. The fights will last longer, and we might be able to have some nice switches with cav switches. Then
I mean,
actually
that's the thing though. I don't think Blue can hold the long game here, Caverna.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't have the cards that are needed to hold the long game. Meanwhile, Merowing has sent some cards that are like very, very important eco-wise to boost production and all that stuff.
Go 1 minute away.
I think we're gonna see USA from Merowing because he's making a lot of Reuters. He's sending infantry combat. I'm not sure if that's what you want here, considering you're going for so many Reuters.
But he's not going for Reuters.
yeah, few.
He's making
Was that from the other guy, or did I just miss something, or
He's
did
making
that
Reuters,
Merowing send
that's
that?
it.
Oh, okay, he did send combat,
Yeah.
right?
No, he didn't.
Did he?
didn't send
No, he didn't. I didn't see
He
it.
did not.
Did he send it wrong, or is you intend to send that now? Because he has just.
I'm not
choose what
sure,
to
but
send
I
now.
think infantry combat here was a huge mistake. Did they affect the revolutionaries?
Like sharpshooters, but not revolutionaries, I don't think.
Okay.
Alright, so let's go. So they need
That's
they have a
Rev
minute
US.
to revolt now. Revolt's coming through. We're going for the US revolt. That was expected. Maybe here we're gonna revolt to the ready of USA as well. 55 skirmishers.
Mirror.
There with
Most
the
common
fire
matchup.
web coming forward. Also USA revolt on the other side. We have here 55 skirmishers here and 31 revolutionaries. And they're
Okay,
gonna be
so the
actually-
sharpshooter coming in, sharpshooter card coming in from the blue now.
Yeah, from Baja.
Yeah.
Baja and Joel. Interesting against the rider mast. Carbine cavalry.
He sent
Yeah, the
something to
Carbine
make them,
cavalry's coming in.
Yeah, and
before,
all of
right?
them are going to turn into Carbine Cavalry now with like 12 of the edition. That's going to be really hard to hold, considering there are Stradiots as well. And there aren't really many revolutionaries from blue. Like 12 Carbine Cav are popping from the town center, and all Red needs to do is to force a fight, considering he has better eco and he can just spam units and show down that to Blue's throat. And yeah, just get in there, just do what you want to do, just do that attack move and just clean them up.
This is not going to be nice.
Yeah, and like 2 Gatlings coming in as well, and 30 muskets popping in from the town center thanks to the church tech. I don't think Stradiots is the way to go here. Like, the opponent has all full anti-cav. That's the last button you want to click. That is the last button you want to click.
Yeah, the problem with the skirms, like going in like that, you need to fight with skirms. You can't just take the fight. Skirms is not even though I think he had more carbine cav than he had skirms anyway. That alone, it would definitely win the fight by itself. Send some of the skirms himself now, but is it too much damage already done?
Yeah, I think this game is quite over actually.
Yep. Yeah.
There's a big mass coming here through. That's the blue guards. 30 blue guards coming through.
Yeah, but that's not gonna be enough to clean all this mess from red.
Oh,
And we're seeing a
4
huge
Megatlings.
drag box from red as well. These heavies should be on the infantry alongside
Yeah,
Gatlings,
so much
and all the other
artillery.
units onto those carbine cavalry. Oh, yeah, I think
the
blue's
Gatling guns
getting
alone is gonna
surely
melt.
cleaned here.
Yeah,
This is
100%. Look at the 4 or 5 Gatling guns. There's 4 Gatling guns in a heavy. Just
alright.
melts
So
the blue
grenadiers
guards.
coming in. I guess that's somewhat nice to have. Yeah. But I think that force gonna go down before they could come in if red knows how to deal with the opponent. Just put the Gatlings onto the units and let everything else siege the fort instead of jackboxing everything you have. You need to know what to do there, I think.
Nice. He has just a pure bigger mass, and there's nothing blue can do right now. But even so, mirroring, here we
The
go. Here
sharpshooter
comes
was pretty good
grenadiers.
though, if you can get enough of them.
Yeah.
Keep on making more heavies as
I
well.
think the economy is going to decide this.
I think the difference is he's making food and making skirms,
Yeah.
when the opponent
Rather
is
than
making heavies.
Heavies, yeah.
Heavy versus skirms, I would take heavies any day.
Yeah, agreed.
Now what you gonna do against even the Gatlings alone? How are you gonna do it? 4 or 3 Gatlings, 4 Gatlings. You can't deal with the 4 Falconets on top of that. Oh boy.
They're good, but they're not that good.
Well, they're good enough.
Also, what you want here is definitely not heavies. You want horse artillery all the time. Your factory
Yeah.
should be on food and wood and coin, and you should have an artillery foundry spamming horse artillery instead of heavies, because they're just better.
Everybody was building heavies last time around, so it's interesting.
Yeah,
These are not bad though. Especially against
heavies aren't
infantry.
bad. Horse artillery are just the better option if you know what you're doing with your unit comps.
Well, he managed to pop 4 Falcons. What you gonna do against that?
Not much, I guess, and I think blues
All over and die.
quite lost here.
Yeah, he doesn't even need to spend his infantry on anything. I would just go back with my grenadiers here. Not lose a single one of them. That's a massacre. And Mirroring
Yep,
take
and
the
that's gonna be game.
first. Yeah. It's a small little thing. I think it was also the composition was better for Mirroring. Even though you're making like a counter unit, it doesn't really work because you still have a lot of artillery. And where Mirroring wouldn't be surprised by a cav switch or some cav shipments, right? He has a lot of dragoons, so he was safe on that department, and he kept the good economy popping up extra units. You know, the blue guards came first, the factories on heavies, since the opponent is doing infantry, so everything was actually pretty much engaged from the get-go. And I think he saw it coming. It's almost like he knew what he was doing. Yeah, he had total control of this match. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. So this is the second match between low APM Baja versus Merowing. We have it here on the northern side of the map. Playing the color blue, we have Merowing plays as the British.
Yes.
We have the Andreas Hoffer, the explorer here. And then to the left side of the map, we have low APM Baja in Joya, the Bosneo Fazil. Does that make any sense for you, Batu? What did that mean? Is that
No,
the
it's
name?
actually pronounced Bosna Fazil, and it means that Fazil who's from Bosnia or Bosnian Fazil. Fazil's a name.
There we go. Nice. Playing the color red of the Ottomans. So potential
I guess that's one
revolts,
thing you can
what's-
appreciate.
For the British, they've got Rev US, although that's not allowed because they did it as the Dutch. They have Canada.
You
they
have
Haiti,
Canada.
they have Haiti. They have South Africa, and they have one more. What is it?
auto revolt.
Yeah. They have
Yeah,
South
I
Africa,
think they-
Canada. I'm not.
No, they have four, isn't it? Yeah. Rev US, Haiti, Canada, South Africa. I think there's four. I think only Spain has five, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I guess not really much to talk about since they're both in age one. Like Ottoman going for a mosque and taking a TP. Meanwhile, Brit, I would also take a Brit TP here as Brit and build a manor instead of going two manors, because that's like, if you can take a TP, just go for it.
Yes, 100%. On the long time, you sending better shipments, having better economy, it's gonna be much better.
Exactly.
Deck wise, nothing strikes out of. What is that? Rangers? I don't think he's gonna send that.
No, I don't think he needs that. Yeah.
I wonder if he's gonna go for Virginia though. Is it even worth it? Like maybe spend a little bit more on the wood to get the villagers. But how much you gonna save wood wise early on to get those extra villagers as fast as possible? Could be a thing. Let's see. Ottomans here though. What does Ottomans have into there? They have the Hungarian one. They have Egyptians. They have the barbarians.
Barbary states, Romania, and that's it.
Romania. I've not seen Romania. I don't remember Romania what it does.
Romania was picked once and it went terribly. It's just basically a worse version of Hungary on the most part.
Exactly.
I think Hungary is super strong. I think.
Hungary is probably Ottoman's best choice, but Egypt is the most popular. Egypt was the most picked revolt, but it also had a really abysmal win rate.
Egyptians do differently than
Egypt is very fire and forget, easy to understand, so that's why it's popular. But is it strong? Debatable.
Because if you know what you're doing, you probably rather want Hungary.
Yeah.
That's the
I'm not the funny deck.
Going. Well, it's not Hungary. I promise. It's definitely. This is going to be Egypt. There's no tower cards or anything in here.
Yeah,
It's gotta be
it's a
Egypt.
blend deck.
It
could
kind
be
of is a giveaway
Barbary.
as well for your opponent. It kind of makes things better because now he's gonna expect a lot of cav. It's like sort of like a giveaway as well.
Combat even, like, because that helps Mamelukes. So it's like,
Right.
Mm.
I wonder if he planned like I'm gonna send this, and this, and then I'm gonna revolt by that minute. There's no time to send anything else. I think he's just like going through Julian's line of thought here. I think just Julian knows the game a little bit more. He can afford to do this sort of mistakes and having like not mistake, but he will be pre-calculating. He knows exactly what to send, and he wouldn't make mistakes because it's freaking Julian.
Yeah.
I mean, as Ottomans here, like you have a good XP curve. That's for one thing, because you can probably go, if you find an XP treasure, you can probably go trivial capitalism. You can probably skip capitalism, but yeah, trivial 5 villagers, 700 coin, or if you can keep the 700 coin and send 700 wood instead, get all your eco tax. They jump fast. Add a TC, send 1,000 wood, add another TC, get to a goodwill pop with those, and you're basically keeping the eco. Then you get to H4, send your factories, the church tag, and then you're probably gonna have like what 50 plus revolutionaries by the time if you're doing the build right, and like 8 bombards, 10 spahi, 20 nizam, and like 55 revolutionaries to follow up. I think that's a pretty good all-in if you know what you're doing. I would say.
Here we go. We're going for Virginia Company.
I don't like this card. It heavily reduces the XP from the manors. I just don't like this card. I heavily dislike the card. You can send 600 wood instead.
It doesn't really state that you lose XP when you build them.
But you do.
Build bounty to 22. It says it right there.
Yeah.
Build bounty. And how much it was before?
42, I think.
I don't remember.
They reduced the cost by 50% and the experience by 50%.
Yeah. No, it reduces the cost by 40 wood. So it's like 45 wood, because it's like what 140? No, 50 wood. Excuse me.
50 wood less, not 50%. Yeah. Okay.
50 wood less and 50% less XP. So this is I don't like this card. You'd rather send 600 wood here.
Yeah. Interesting. He sent for reveals as well. He's already on 43 villagers.
He does have his TP. He's on the lead score.
I mean, a huge difference in score-wise. I mean, especially Ottomans is at this time with a single town center.
Mm-hmm.
Quite low.
Yeah, Brithois is a little inflated, but yeah. He's got 200 amount of population already, but yeah.
How about aging up with a church? To have 2 churches. Wouldn't that be a good thing?
No, I don't think that's great unless you're on a map you cannot take TP, because then you're forced to.
Maybe it's something like with the experience, like sometimes the more experience you get doesn't really account to more and more shipments. At some point you start getting as many, right? Because you see,
Because
like,
the thing is, Cavern, the value you'll get from from that church is probably gonna be equal to 350 wood, like a half a shipment, and you'd rather age up with like 2 will 2 cow or 400 wood instead as well. That's the thing with
for
that.
example, you get the extra church and the experience you get from that. How much that could count over 15 minutes? How much shipments you can get extra? That's the thing.
I would say it's still half a shipment value, and 2 wills will probably give you more value over time than that.
You get it around
gather
4
like
minutes.
1,000 resources on their own.
There we go. A town center going forward. That's nice for a shipment point.
Okay, that kind of.
Say you age up at 4 minutes and build the mosque, which is generous. You get around 528 experience by the time the treaty wears out.
Exactly, 528 experience is basically, 8-minute half a shipment.
It's a third of mercantilism. It's not insignificant, but it's not. I agree with you, Batu. That I think it's not worth what you give up in tempo.
Exactly, like having 2 will 2 cab is way better because villagers probably get their money.
You don't get it as Ottoman, I don't think.
Meantime,
And
yeah.
you get also the church, the market, and the houses, right? And you
I think
He
basically
does
Yeah,
have his
like-
steel traps. He does have his placer mines, which are nice.
yeah, because if he would age up with a church, he doesn't get the 400 wood, then he wouldn't be able to build market and house. You have to chop and then be a downside on us as well. Anyway, going age 4 with the Tycoon. Tycoon, I don't remember what it does.
it gives you
1,000 gold.
1,000 coin.
Okay.
Oh, coin. Yeah, coin.
The score
Yeah.
gap looks kind of scary for the Ottoman
Yeah.
player, I would say.
Yeah, this I don't like how this looks for the Ottomans.
I mean, if Brit can read what Otto is doing, he can probably do full goons and 3 or 4 culverins behind it, and yeah.
Well, if he's gonna go Canada, he can use the free defensible upgrade. Get a
Yeah,
lot of
that
red
basically
coats.
makes your muskets to guard for free.
Yeah, and they're better than God. They're almost imperial. Like
Yeah.
really,
Yeah, they're amazing.
like they're cheaper. They're cheaper and they get upgraded.
Alright, so he did send spice trade.
Which I do not like, actually. You'd rather send the refrigeration.
But who knows what he doesn't like?
Yeah, I mean,
That's
you'd
for
rather
sure.
have refrigeration. It is what it is. Like you get it if you want to send an eco card, you rather send refrigeration because you get to H3 by 8 minutes anyway. In the setting, you're not bothered at all.
Canada gets spice trade anyway. If you want to send it later.
Yeah, exactly. That's a nice fact too.
Which one?
Yeah.
Yeah, Canada gets
That
that
one.
shipment.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay, so 3 rockets. Still not a big fan of what I'm
But you don't
seeing
want to
here.
send that
But
later. You want to send that before. I mean, after you revolt
Yeah,
and you
you
want to
do.
send spice trade, doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I'm
anymore.
just saying in theory that you'd be better off sending refrigeration rather than
Oh, yeah,
sending.
refrigeration.
you
is
would probably
definitely-
transition to mills anyway if you're playing
realistically,
Revolt
yeah.
that's eco-based.
And I think
Oh,
spice
Canada.
trade gives
I mean, if it
you-
goes really long, like say in a mirror or something like that, like Canada gets a few hunt cards, so an infinite hunt card, so you can get quite a lot of value from that.
Interesting.
Okay, walls already. Kinda early for
Yeah,
that.
they also get the Haudenosaunee card that lets them gather coin while hunting, but yeah.
If you're gonna play defensively, I don't hate him. Gotta make it earlier than later.
Amalgamation. Now, what is that? Circular saw coming in as well.
Yeah, you need to gather a lot of wood for that to pay off.
Yeah, it's like 800 resources.
Yeah,
So-
calculated it a while back. I got it written down somewhere.
Amalgamation.
Yeah,
You'd rather have that tech when you're like at 80 vills or 70 vills or something.
What do we have in here?
The
Charge card.
calculations are maybe correct. Yeah.
The charge tech's
Yes.
coming in for auto. Both factories on wood, probably to produce nizams. But he could probably put the villagers on wood as well, because they're overgathering food for no reason. Actually,
Yeah, circular sword. With 10 villagers gathering it, it takes about 7.8 minutes for 10 villagers to recoup its cost.
okay, so
And-
have that by 7 times. Like as I said, like you need 70, 80 vills to pay that off quickly, because like then if you're at 70 or 80 vills, it'll take like 50 seconds or 1 minute to pay itself off.
I wonder if they don't
But
have a spy here as
in
well.
that time, you've also gathered over nearly 4,000 woods. So do you really need that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always thought it's a dubious tech, but yeah.
Definitely need the food for this Capicolo corpse.
Yeah.
And,
But like he's overgathered food here, he could have put the factories on bombards and
No, he needs to send
everything
this.
else on the resource he needs. But I guess this is an easy way to macro. But then again, he might be saving the food for an Hungary revolt. Merowing has revolted to South Africa, by
was
the
there.
way.
Oh, I like this.
Oh, South Africa.
that's nice.
Okay.
And the
expecting
war
this
wagons are
at
coming
all.
in. Actually, I think the war wagons are perfect counter to auto, whatever they do.
Egypt, yeah. Yeah. I mean, Barbary would be the only thing they could remotely do that might give them grief, but yeah.
Not
But
the
then again,
curiosity.
you just add the artillery in, and yeah, you're still fine.
Yeah.
These things actually, these tracks are so annoying. Like they just hanging in there.
Yeah, not a fan myself.
Yeah, they're very annoying.
You're annoying.
And if you delete, you give experience to your opponent.
Yeah, well, they can tank. That's basically what I use them for.
Right.
Yeah, they're pretty good tanks against people who don't know how to micro.
Me.
I guess now
I
I'm gonna
am
have
too
to
timid to
send
play this
one.
game.
Anzimat, but I don't think he's gonna be sending that.
He's overpopped. And
Yeah,
his
the
factors are
revolution
stuck.
coming in. Can we see what revolution he's going for?
We're gonna
Caverna?
know. We're gonna know now. Don't worry about
Over
it.
the hand.
But it is the Barbary. Oh,
Barbary.
what?
Hey, Barbary
Rare?
coming in.
Barbary without a saloon. He has an tavern or whatever they call it now.
Yeah, you need an
Um,
outlaw tech for all our units, dude.
Well, no, only the skirmishers get improved. But
yeah.
It's go time for him.
Yeah, because he's all in now.
Oh, he's
What?
behind in military.
yeah, this is the thing I was saying about South Africa. It's risky because you don't have military shipments. Oh, he's getting Imperial war wagons already. So
Yeah.
might be enough, but we'll see.
Might not be enough too. That's the problem with this. He needed to wall the artillery, not the entire map, by the way.
And the fact
I guess you can technically wall with the all of those track wagons as well.
And if he can defend, he's gonna lose factories straight away. Whoa! Look at how many units are already
Yeah.
melted there.
All those track wagons are blocking the way, getting the shots in by the rockets. The bombard's having a volley, but I'm not sure if they've quite killed the rockets though.
The warriors.
War wagons,
stuck
they're
in on the
not
war
supposed
wagons.
to do that. Like, I'm not sure what he's doing.
Is it on
He's
melee?
dying to those barbaric
War wagons
corsairs
in
for
melee?
free, basically. The war wagons are supposed to kill the melee units, stay in the back, while rockets do all the work from the range. But I don't think this is what you want to do as South Africa. He is sending for war wagons. He's making like making a couple batches from the stable.
We need a few coal.
This could have went
ultra
way
defensive.
better. This could have went way better for South Africa, for blue.
Well, but
That was a
Can't complain.
really nice volley as more war wagons come in and clean
He's
them.
probably gonna survive this, but yeah.
yeah, the tracks they didn't work. Look how they lost all the tracks and still have like artillery in the field. So really confused low AP aim here. And now with the war wagons on the field and more just popped down there, we're just gonna. I think it's gonna be the end of the series like this.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be the end of the
good.
series.
Yeah, the tracks are annoying, but they do help. And I don't like the Barbary revolts. I was not expecting that revolt at all. I would
It's
definitely.
okay. I think it's okay, but you really need to know what you're doing with it. Like, the skirmishers can get really powerful. Like there's actually 3 cards in the deck that buff them, but even without them, they're good with just the what do you call it, the tavern upgrade. They're quite good. But yeah, it isn't the greatest primarily because you get the Barbary warriors, which aren't great against other revolutionaries. But in this matchup, it might have worked if it was played. Yeah, see, they're not upgraded. Those units aren't upgraded. They're basically H2 units. But
You upgrade them in the tavern.
yep. Yeah, it upgrades all outlaws, and they're classed as outlaws.
I see.
Yeah, they're quite good.
I think this is pretty much like his last breath. He's gonna go with the 3 bombards, but the rockets are in place. But
That's a
actually
nice
managed to
volley
take
from the
them.
bombards, but I don't think that's gonna be enough to close the game because I think South Africa
Got
just
Imperial war wagons on the
here.
field.
They're basically untouched at this point, and the Ottoman didn't do enough damage to kill what South Africa could have, like what South Africa did. But yeah, here we are.
Why we have only 2 bank? Oh yeah. It's not Dutch, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Whoops.
Be happy with
what's
those
going on
banks as it is. You can't take Dutch again.
All right. He's gonna send
Now the CDB card is coming in.
Coconuts.
To
the Kure de
get
Bou.
the new CDBs.
Oh, notes. But more like, I think. Is that how you spell that, or am I wrong?
Enable the capital in most of these
Corazon.
upgrades for lower costs, especially explorer technologies.
That's
Interesting.
quite good. Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
That's a quite good tech.
Exactly.
You get imperial economy and imperial units.
Imperial War against pretty good.
In a explorer that
And
doesn't
that's
die.
gonna be the GG and the end of the series. Yeah.
Very nice. Mirroring played this to very well to an extent, and did the right plays, the right units. A better plan, the low APM Baja. I think he deserves the win.
Yeah.
100%. I think low APM was very aggressive. He had a very like all in, but it wasn't like super defined ideas yet. And if you really want to get your playing straight, you know, but it's hard to sort of foresee everything, especially if you're new to revolts and everything. So I think that was pretty good experience for him as well. So this is the second series of the tournament. You never know how many more we're gonna have, and it's nice to see how people evolve into their revolts and what people come up with in the future. So very nice from these guys.
Yeah.
Mirroring looks very promising into this tournament, and a very good opponent there.